Okay, hi everyone. This is the really exciting bit in my opinion because this is a video where I know some of you are struggling with. So I'm going to try and help you, right? Now, lots of you are finding it hard to know the difference between the short run and the long run for aggregate supply. Now, in my head, when I was younger, I used to think, well, short run just mean like a week or a month or something, like really quick. But actually, there's no defined time for the short run. What it means, the short run means that one factory production is fixed. So, what I mean by that is, and by the way, that factory production is pretty much, you might as well just say, is capital. And capital is like things like factories and machines. So what you can know by this is, in the short run, a firm is stuck with just their factory. So the only way they can make more stuff is by making more stuff in that factory, but they can't add like a second factory. On the other hand, in the long run, all factors of production are variable, which means that the firm could keep on making more and more factories. Now you might be wondering what this was. This was meant to be a picture of a factory. Don't really know why. Put some windows in. Anyway, so in the long run, every single factory production is variable. Now that's the definition of the difference between them. To be honest, it doesn't really help you. The key thing is to say that is the difference between the short run and the long run. You don't ever say like the short run will be a week, because for example, like a nuclear power plant, their short run could be a really, really long time because it would take ages to build another nuclear power plant. Whereas an ice cream shop, their short run might be a lot shorter because it could quite easily build a new ice cream place quite quickly. So that kind of makes sense. Okay, so where am I going now? Right, now we need to know what things can make the short run AS line go left or right. So the short run AS line looks like this. Price level, again, real GDP. Now, the short run line always goes like that. It looks a lot like Mr. Thompson's supply line. But instead of calling it a supply line, you call it short run AS. And there are things that can make it go left, which is less, or things that can make it go right, which is more. Okay, so what are those factors that make short run AS line go left and right? Okay, now we're going to do the actual diagram and we're going to say the factors that can affect it. So I'm going to draw my lines first. And I want you to always follow this structure of putting price level first and then real GDP. And I know we want this SRAS line to change. Whoops, SRAS. But you have to also have an AD line in, because without that you can't do an equilibrium. So I do my dotted lines there. I'll do this first because it makes it less confusing later on. I'll call that P1. Okay, so what things can make this SRAS line go left and right? That's what we need to know. So this line is either going to go that way to the left, which is less, or that way, which is right, which is more. Okay, so there are main things that can make it happen. All you've got to remember is anything that changes the firm's cost of production. Right, if it costs the firm more to produce something, what are they going to do? They're going to supply less of it because it's more expensive for them to do so. So, here is the example. There are three main things we say. We say raw materials. So if raw materials get more expensive, firms will supply less. The second one is wage rates. And the third one is corporation tax. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So if wage rates went up, so for example, the minimum wage went up from £3.20 to £6.20 to £6.50 where it is now. So this is the short run AS at the minute. This means firms will have to pay more for their workers, which means their supply will go this way to the left. So it's SRAS2. Now, as you can see, this is actually really bad for the economy in a couple of ways. I'll do my dotted lines in blue. The first thing is GDP has gone down because firms are producing less because it's more expensive to do so. And secondly, the price level's gone up. Now, later on, we're going to call this cost push inflation. But for now, we don't have to worry about it. All it shows is, if it costs more for firms to supply stuff, they're going to have to put their prices, which will end up causing the price level of the economy to go up. So the big thing for short run AS is, whenever you see anything that affects a firm's cost of production, that's the line that's going to shift.